Welcome back to your favorite hot tub stream. It's there's plenty of space on this body if you want me to write your name down on it, but you do have to. Well, we'll get back to a game. We'll talk about that later. Talk about it later. We are leaving this room. We wanted to go back to the coast, right? Well, I mean, there's like a whole lot of things we could do and talk to and, you know, poke about. Many things. But we were saying that since we have this quest from Everart to go to the coast, we could go there because there certainly are people to talk to beyond just that quest. Now, as far as why are we helping out Everart, is this going to lead to us getting our gun? I mean, I assume that's what this is going for. That eventually, if we do enough favors for him, I guess he's going to produce our gun. Because if he doesn't actually have the gun, it's going to be a little weird. It's like we're doing this. Like we're doing this whole thing, and we assume that it's because he is hinting at that he actually already has our gun. And we need to get that gun. If he doesn't have it, it's going to be awkward. But then again, the pawn shop guy did say that it was a woman who bought it, and it was kind of a scary woman. So, like, I would think that maybe describes Cindy the Skull. I don't know who else this would describe, but we haven't had the option to ask her about the gun. Someone mentioned to me that this volition check, I have taken damage to my morale, so I can heal my morale, and that would help with the volition check. Let's see how much it might help.
Stand steady as
83%.
The unlocked drawer slides out to greet you.
Well, let's try it.
You're trying, but the data here is unbelievably dry. Something about containers.
Nope, our volition is still not strong enough.
The drawer slides shut smoothly.
Did not happen. Maybe eventually we'll be able to read those files. Or is there anyone else to talk to on our way? Well, there are the two old men. But, I mean, my rhetoric is so low, I'm never going to get that one guy to give me a sandwich. I mean, I do have a point, and I could, like, put it into rhetoric. Now it's at 0. So, that's not actually going to help much.
It is such a pleasure to see you again, officer. How may I head the citizens' militia on this fine day?
See, that's still at 3%. And there's this guy over here.
You keep coming back. That's good, officer. Keep browsing those clothes, keep saving that economy.
If he really wants to save the economy, he'd let you pay with net worth. Go over and ask him if you can.
Whenever we talk to this guy, Savoir Faire is really interested in talking about net worth. We could buy some itchy pants. That was +2 Half-Light, -1 Composure. I don't know if Half-Light really is in need of strengthening, though. Composure. Let me just see if there's anything we can do to help with composure. Okay, the shoes give us +1 composure. Alright, got a +1 on that. Seems like that's the only thing that actually has. Gonna help us out with that.
If he really wants to save,
58%.
he'd let you pay. Something cold grazes your hand. Synthetic and sleek. A windbreaker. Surf, it says, but also wind, summer, 100% waterproof, and sport. All in different typefaces.
That sounds pretty good.
This jacket is the apex of human evolution. The moment at which man became weatherproof.
Oh, endurance is way into it.
Practical, and yet it may deaden your senses to the world around you. Possibly because of the awful typeface.
It might hurt shivers, though.
Good choice, officer. Mega sporty. And it's only 450 for you, sir.
Let's see. +1 composure, -1 to shivers. It's a dynamic windbreaker. Surf. 4.5 for +1 to composure. Does hurt shivers. We'll leave it for right now. I mean, it sounds like a fun thing to wear, but I don't know. Do we really need to take shivers down any? I like having a high shivers.
Shine on these sunglasses lasts a lifetime, officer. 100% guaranteed.
Stylish shades, huh? They'd be even more stylish if you paid for them with net worth. Go over and ask him.
Conceptualization, huh? 3. All right, well, put our conceptualization clothes back on. There was the jacket. There was a shirt. And that was all.
The shine.
Stylish shades, huh?
17%.
They'd be even more stylish. No luck. All you find is this lime-colored cellophane visor, produced by a bargain sportswear brand called Amphibian, apparently. There's a malformed green frog on its bent cap.
Oh, that visor is perfect for you, officer. It'll definitely keep the sun out of your eyes while you're shooting criminals. Bang, bang! And all for a mere 6 real.
I mean, we're hoping we don't have to shoot anyone. Kim, are firefights something we should be prepared for?
I hope not.
He says, looking up from his browsing.
You don't like it? Sure, Square Joe. No problem. Let's get you some real shades.
+1 perception. For the amphibian sports visor. Well, our perception is already doing pretty well. And this is 6 real, which, I don't know, do we want to spend that much money on another point for perception? Right now, perception is at 8 points. It's doing all right.
You see 2 lowly, defeated speakers, thralls, slaves basically, perched atop them like conquerors surveying the land. A pair of found, durable wear sneakers, Ultra Series.
I can see you've a taste for luxury, officer. Can't keep your eyes off those sneakers?
Speaking of luxury, you should go over and ask about paying for those sneakers with your net worth.
Inspect the sneakers.
A pair of found Ultras. The design is impossibly sleek and simple. A futuristic silhouette with a sleek monochrome colorway, a jet black upper, and a silver-lined midsole.
Those sneakers, mister. Those sneakers are the latest found sneakers. Super air, super fine, super cool. Only 50 real.
Oof, only, huh? This one would be +1 reaction speed, +1 hand-eye coordination, -1 encyclopedia. These shoes make us forget things. Still, +1s to 2 motorics stats, so it's not bad. But still, 50? It's not worth 50. Inspect the sneakers. Inspect the speakers.
These once respectable speakers have been conquered, reduced to a mere prop by the indomitable found Ultras atop them. A small heat emboss on the veneer reads, Solidarity Aid from the People's Republic of Samara. The speakers themselves don't seem to display any magical qualities.
No, don't look at the speakers, officer. Look at the sneakers. The sneakers are the stars here.
But I already looked at the sneakers.
Then look at them again. These are the premium lifestyle sneakers, officer. The best on the market.
Can't I just buy the sad, conquered Samaran speakers?
No way, officer. These aren't for sale. They're bad speakers. Lo-fi socialist junk.
But that's why I want them. I think I might be lo-fi socialist junk myself.
No, officer. You're a high-class policeman who accepts nothing less than the best. Lucky for you, I've got the best on sale.
You don't know what I am. I don't even know it myself. I want the speakers.
Well, if you want them...
He pauses for a moment, calculating.
But see, they are the pedestal for my sneakers. If I let go of the speakers, where will the sneakers go? I can't leave premium lifestyle sneakers on the ground. If, on the other hand, you wanted to buy the sneakers too, I could maybe throw in the speakers for little extra. 50 cents?
So... Well, we can't afford it either way.
These ones respect a small heat emboss.
No, don't look at the speakers, officer. Look at the sneakers. The
What
sneakers are the stars here.
But what about the speakers, though? Doesn't anyone want those speakers?
These, officer? These speakers are Samaran garbage. I'm ashamed to even use them for props. Don't waste your time on them.
These ones a small heat.
No, don't.
I feel like we need to pat the speakers.
Look at the No, don't pity them, officer. These are old Samaran garbage. Don't even look at them. Check out these super cool, fun ultras instead. Everything's still cool here, officer.
Well, I mean, rhetoric is not going to come through on that. Poor underprivileged grandma ratted out the lady driver. It doesn't seem like we can actually ask him about net worth. Like, Savoir Faire keeps saying we should ask him about paying with net worth, but it doesn't seem like the option is actually there. Footfall within. Not human. Only a dog, and no more. Well, if we ever get 50.5 real, maybe we could buy these speakers. Or maybe there might be some way to get him to lower the price at some point. Let's get out our, our multi-tool, our gigantic multi-tool. Got, Jamrock Biker Cop Sunnies. +1 to empathy, -1 to logic. +1 empathy, feel the streets, -1 logic, leave the reason behind. For taking your Harmel Rio Supersonic out for a ride on the streets of Jamrock, where your heart is buried. Well, let's see. Empathy's at 4, logic's at 1. Well, at 1, whoops, logic is not really going to be speaking up about anything. Our glass is currently +1 logic, -1 authority. Yeah, okay. Increase our empathy a little bit at the cost of logic. And that actually helps authority a little bit. Authority's now at 5. Oh, what's that?
Rust peels off the bent iron posts of the swing. The wind whistles through the skeleton of the small house behind you. There's desolation everywhere.
What happened here?
In this yard?
The lieutenant looks at the small building. A flock of gray swallows takes off in the distance.
Someone thought they could have a summer house in a bloc obscur. For cheap. It didn't work out. They abandoned it about a decade ago.
Wait, what's a bloc obscur?
A black bloc. A part of the city left unrenovated after the war. Or one that has fallen to gang violence. Or has become inhospitable in some other way.
So this part of the coast is a bloc obscur?
Practically, it's not an official term in any way, but look around. No sewage, broken power lines, crime, drunks. Life is tough in the blocks. It's no place to build a summer house.
At least they left some old music behind.
Yes, and you picked it up because you're a post-apocalyptic scavenger who collects trash and magnesium blisters.
That is an accurate assessment, yes.
It's not meant as nagging, just an observation.
We should move. I don't think our suspect is in this particular yard. No place to hide. And besides, it's too close to Martinez.
And we did investigate this house before. Yeah. Oh, actually, it's not like a separate screen. It's the same as the rest of the map. I think we did. Yeah, I think we did go in here. Let's just check. Doesn't seem like there's an observation. A cold breeze is enough to make the wall planks creak. It doesn't seem like there's anything else in here. Like there was an item in there, I think, but at least, well, we got something from perception when we went in there. Yeah, since we buffed up perception, we are getting a lot more. We're getting a lot of observations that we did not get the first time around when we've been to a lot of these places. Did we go further south here? Looks like this is as far south as we can go. Now here's these guys. Well, okay, so we do have some beer. Let's get a story.
Tequila Sunset.
Have you got any more urban myths?
I actually do have one. The strangest of them all. But I'll need to fortify myself before I can tell that one. Do you have anything to fortify old Doom Spiral? Tell me you got some story juice.
Got a potent Pilsner.
Not much, but it will do.
He grabs the bottle from your hand and uncorks it immediately.
This last one is the most Martinet story I've ever heard.
He takes an almost comically long swig. Thus fortified, he continues.
I've never heard it mentioned outside of here. At first, I thought it was a joke, to be honest. But I've been on the coast 8, 9 months now, and in that time I've seen at least 3 expeditions come through, searching for something.
A shovel hits the sand somewhere behind the reeds, near an abandoned construction yard. The young men look over their shoulders suspiciously. The sound of their digging seems loud in the sudden silence.
Cryptids?
Magic animals? No, man, this is serious stuff.
A place to call home?
No, Tequila. Most people already know where they live. It's guys like you and me that are the exceptions.
Your lost keys?
Hey, hey! Fuck you, Tequila.
He says, his voice level. Okay, what kind of expeditions?
All kinds. I've seen archaeologists, gangsters, even a bunch of ad agency types. I'm telling you, Tequila, this thing's got a pull on certain kinds of people.
Wait, there's a tingling back here. The stirring of a faint sensation.
What do you mean, certain kinds of people?
You know, obsessive types. People with predilections.
What exactly are we talking about here?
Some of those expeditions come back after a week or so, looking haggard and dejected. Others don't return at all. The first time I saw one of these expeditions, I thought they were fucking with me. There was no way it could be true. It was just too high concept, even for me.
There's no way. It can't be. Or can it?
Can't be what?
You know.
I don't know electrochemistry.
I'm not even sure I should be telling you this story, to be perfectly honest. You're in a fragile state, and it might be too much for you to handle.
I can handle it. I've got some magnesium on me.
Okay, fine, I'll tell you. But I'm warning you, it's pretty out there.
His eyes narrow with mystery.
It begins at a legendary design studio, right here in Martinez. There was this designer. His exact name is lost to history, but in life, he was a legend. Made it big in Aranya, where he did some real pioneering work on grotesque and sans serif typography. A fucking genius, man.
Oh, I'm interested in hearing about the grotesque typography.
That is, if he even existed. Who knows? It's an urban legend, after all.
He existed, all right. You feel it deep within your basal ganglia. He was as real as you are.
What the fuck are you talking about?
I'm talking about...
Anyway, sometime later he started his own personal studio here in Martinez. And that's when he started working on some really wild stuff. I'm talking some glass-smooth, forward-looking design language, the kind of thing that would totally overthrow the old regime, design-wise. But then something turned. You see, it's widely known that nose candy and pioneer graphic design work go hand in hand.
Wait, nose candy?
You know Tequila, nose candy, the white railroad, party powder.
I might be familiar with it.
The kids on the streets also call it Snow Day.
Sinus salt, the white knight.
These are some good names.
Can't see, for its popularity among the aristocratic class of the prior century.
He's talking about cocaine.
Oh, you mean cocaine.
Shit yeah, Tequila. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
He gives you a comradely bump on the shoulder as a couple millimeters of booze slosh out of his bottle. So, what happened to him?
You've got to understand, the work this guy was doing was so high concept that regular amounts of cocaine just weren't cutting it. By the end, they were bringing it in by the lorry load.
I'm not sure if that's how creativity works, honestly. Man, I'm onto something really good. I need tremendous amounts of cocaine to keep fueling me. I don't think it's like a quantity-based thing is the thing.
Now, as you might imagine, snorting that much cocaine can't be healthy for a regular human, right?
For a regular human?
Right. Wrong. Do it all the
That doesn't seem like that was even a check. That was just electrochemistry butting in. All the time?
all day, baby.
Hey, Tequila, pay attention. The story goes that one day he was balls deep in work on what he thought would be his pièce de résistance, an advert so minimal it contained neither text nor images, just pure white. Apparently the idea was too high concept even for this genius. He dropped dead right at his desk before he could finish. His last words are recorded to have been, "It's as white as a blizzard of cocaine."
What a loss for the world of design.
I know, Tequila. I know.
He takes a swig, considers pouring some out for this lost genius, then thinks better of it.
But the story doesn't end there. Supposedly, when they performed the autopsy, the coroner discovered nearly 1/4 kilo of coke jammed into his nasal cavity. That's right. 250 grams of blow had accumulated in there over the years. We're talking high-grade Saramaritsian pure. Not that cut-rate shit your grandma does.
Well, I guess it would be a shame if someone let all that go to waste. Gonna have to plumb it out of his nasal cavity.
There are those who believe the designer was buried with this 1/4 key of nose candy still lodged in his sinuses. That's what those expeditions are looking for.
Man, is cocaine so hard to come by that they need to find a corpse that has the cocaine in his head?
The cocaine skull.
The cocaine skull.
The cocaine skull.
Wow.
No. Wow.
And why do people think the skull is here, in Martinez?
Here's the kicker. This designer, this lead designer of a world-famous design studio, was born in Martinez. A local boy, Martin Martinez.
Oh, I've heard that name before.
That's why he brought his studio here, back to where it all began. And that's why they buried him here, too. Perhaps right under Ab's pipe there.
He points to the pipe.
Or probably further down the coast, or in some yard in Martinez proper. A hidden mausoleum, no one knows exactly.
No, my grandma always told me his grave lay somewhere on the islets on the bay.
This is ludicrous and physically impossible. Sinuses can contain that amount of anything.
Now, detective. Always the skeptic.
Oh, Inland Empire is intrigued about this.
My only question is, where does one get a shovel?
What do these expeditions plan to do with it?
The archaeologists say they want to put it in a museum, the gangsters say they want to sell it on the black market, and the ad agency guys say they're seeking inspiration.
Bullshit. They just want to snort it. But you could beat them to it, Harry. You could snort the magic skull cocaine instead.
I could, couldn't I?
I'm pretty sure they all just want to snort it, though.
And why wouldn't they, eh? Sounds like right strong stuff.
Rosemary, you said something about islets?
Don't listen to him or his grandma. He's just making things up.
No, my grandma told me. I've heard other people say it too. That it's underwater. Oh no, maybe it was the storm sewers.
Or maybe it's in the air. Or in an ancient state pyramid offshore.
In a pyramid? Now that would be something.
No, the offshore pyramid contains a living god. We probably shouldn't go over there. Probably doesn't know anything about the case. What have you learned from the other expeditions?
They're pretty vague about it in general. The gangsters like to claim they're looking for the grave of a friend, with picks and shovels. The archaeologists act all official about it, saying they're conducting serious research. Honestly, I think they're not really scientists, just rich. The junkies, for some reason, are pretty upfront about it. They just say they're looking to snort some blow out of a dead man's nasal cavity.
Honest men on an honest quest. You should join them.
We should join them.
By now, I'd say I know about as much about it as anyone on the coast.
Oh, okay, I'm convinced. Let's go find it!
Whoa. Hold on just a minute. Finding it right now is literally impossible.
What?
Why?
For one, the way is blocked by that big lorry that says Delta Logistics Company on the side. You definitely have to search the area behind that lorry too, yet it is impassable. And second, outfitting an expedition like that is expensive. It'd have to be a big production to do the cocaine skull justice. You need new gear, people who know what they're doing, all kinds of provisions. It's just not feasible within the economic and temporal frame of our current setup. Matter of fact, unless a bunch of money just falls out of the sky, We might never know what's up with that skull.
Okay, so we have to end the strike so we can get the lorries out of the way for our expedition. We have to find a patron for the expedition. We know 2 people who have money, Joyce and Everart. Maybe one of them would be interested in this cocaine skull.
I have to agree. We barely have what we need to solve the case we've got now. We can't afford to run around chasing after quasi-mythical pieces of drug paraphernalia. Besides, it would look extremely bad for the RCM to be caught up in something that has the word cocaine writ large on it. The PR is tricky on this.
Damn, that's too bad.
Wait, maybe there's another way. Maybe up around the coast? Don't give up now.
Never give up.
Yeah, well, that's the reality situation for you. Who knows, though? Maybe someday we'll get our chance.
All right, and we got a skill point from that. Does he have any more stories?
Not that I can think of.
I guess that makes sense. You have been drinking a lot.
That might be the case. Yes.
All right, I guess we've heard all of his stories. And maybe we might find something on the coast concerning a cocaine skull. Actually, I don't believe we went out this far to the west. It doesn't seem like I can go further. This might be the edge. Now we're back at the boardwalk. There's someone here.
And Mikhail noticed the windows, especially with how there are no windows on the south side. This was to deal with.
A blond man stands next to his son, pointing to the weather-worn ruins. He sees you approaching and smiles.
You officers, come to investigate the historic subtext of West Martinez? I'm Tran Heilostam. You must be Kim Kitsuragi, right? I was just telling my son about this building. Not a lot of people realize the historic significance here. Very rich in hypertext.
Oh, how does he know Kim?
Nice to meet you.
Well, hold on. Hypertext?
Yes, hypertext. Young Carp and the collection of cultural hyperlinks.
He's just making up fancy words. This doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, it's probably... He just likes to sound smart is the thing. Wait, what was that about the windows before?
Oh yes, so Mikhail. They had to deal with monitor glare, especially in the summer. They still had vector monitors back then. That was 49 years ago. So they didn't have windows on the south wall.
Vector monitors are badass. You and Kim know each other?
No, I can't say that we've met before, but I've heard of Kim, of course. Mikhail, say hi to the officers.
Mikhail, no, he rests his hand on the boy's shoulder. The child stays hidden behind the hem of his father's coat, clutching to his worm-themed coloring book.
Mikhail's a little tired today. We spent all night trying to run Orbis on his radio computer. Have you heard of it? It's a programming language used in Grad. Quite tricky, but he wanted to play this Grad-made adventure program. We've been getting really into Worms lately.
The man speaks in the artificial cadence of a professor, or someone who's been on too many radio shows.
But I assume you're not here for giant worms when there are so many real things to see. Just as I was telling Mikhail before, this is where the Coalition landed in '08. We could be standing on what is the most interesting landmark in Revachol West.
Well, what's so fascinating about this empty old building?
Aha! But it's not just any empty old building.
He raises his hand to his eyes, springtime sun warming his handsome face. All 4 of you turn to admire the mural before you.
What not a lot of people know is this used to be the R&D department of Felt Electrical. And Felt, which now sells ink cartridges mostly, was once a top dog in the turn-of-the-century cybernetics boom.
Hold on. What's R&D?
Thank you, Encyclopedia. What's an R&D department?
Apologies, it's an acronym for research and development. They don't use it anymore.
He smiles brightly, laugh lines around his eyes.
You're probably more familiar with RTD, Research and Technological Development.
Yes, absolutely. More familiar is what I am with what you said. Let's look at the building looming over us.
It looks old and weathered, with seagulls picking apart its stone and metal carcass. Bushy undergrowth has taken hold of the collapsed rooftop. Some kind of bird has set up a nest on a broken windowsill.
I don't think I've ever heard of this Feld Electrical.
That's not surprising. Only a vestigial ink cartridge and ferrotape manufacturer remains.
He adjusts his suit jacket.
They started out as a midway electronics outfit in Königstein 2 centuries ago. After an aggressive move to Revachol, Feld became a global player in the emerging personal electronics market of the pre-revolutionary era. Still, Tricentennial was beating them in business machines. But Feld had an ace up their sleeve, or should I say they were developing an ace up their sleeve. I'm mixing my metaphors here.
What was that ace?
It was here in Martinez, possibly in this very building, that they developed prototypes for a tape computer.
Tape computer?
An elegant folding mechanism of rollers and ferrotape ribbons, portable enough to be a take-it-home solution. Revolutionizing business machines, possibly even bring them to the average consumer, which is a feat of engineering even today's giants, Rehm, ICN and ZAM, haven't achieved yet.
He grins, admiring the sentence he just produced. Yes, the computers we've seen have all been radio computers, but maybe someone was actually developing tapes? How could that possibly work with the computer? What happened?
Indeed. What?
The revolution!
The boy wipes his nose on his sleeve.
Unfortunately, their moonshot project never made it to the market. Feld's move to Revachol backfired. The revolutionary government liquefied their assets and expropriated those very advanced prototypes. Possibly from this very building, or one of the adjacent ruins.
He pauses, pointing to the other building, then continues.
All of this was built by Feld, even the boardwalk. Wild Pines built Martinez proper as a resort for their middle management. Feld built this side of town for R&D.
You're saying that Feld Electrical built this boardwalk?
Yes, they even built a pleasure wheel, but that got destroyed in the war.
A pleasure wheel?
The lieutenant looks wistfully at the horizon, as if picturing gondolas rising to the sky.
Perhaps reminded of a childhood memory. It's clear he would prefer there were a big wheel lighting up the coast.
There is one on our map, but not in reality.
Yes, to lure in their star engineers. This part of Martinez was nothing but reeds before Feld arrived. They had to make the prospect of living here attractive. It was supposed to become a global center for innovation in cybernetics. But history had other plans.
What happened to the engineers? The company people?
Oh, I'm afraid it didn't end well for the boys. But this story is a bit too dark for little Mikhail here. Now, if you were to ask about tape computers...
I guess, I would figure that the communists would have needed engineers, but maybe not. What did the revolutionaries do with those advanced tape computers?
They used them for military communications, but also to write and send out press releases, the most notorious example being Le Décret de Mars.
What was that?
What's the Mars Decree? I mean the radio transmission sent out to news agencies and world governments by the newly created Commune of Revachol on the 7th of March in the year 02. It's a beautiful piece of text, actually. A singer-songwriter I know, Charette, called it a love poem to Revachol on her political concept album, Bombe dans le Lind. You should read it. Every local library in Revachol stocks a copy of the decree. I tried to get Mikhail to memorize it. Tried to. Someone was much too interested in worms to be paying any attention.
The kid takes a peek at the green and silver worm on the cover of the book, already forgetting about this part of the discussion.
How do those tape computers work? Do they work like radio computers?
Actually, no one knows. No one even knows what a computer made entirely of tape would look like. But word has it, they were very elegant, exquisite, alien-looking turn-of-the-century hardware.
He raises his finger, remembering something.
10 years ago, I did a little freelancing, I guess you could say. I was a special consultant for an exhibition at the Wompty Dumpty Dum Center in Vredefort, Oranje. It raised the same questions, and we had lengthy discussions with Paul Ockerman, who was head curator at the time. This was before the twins Keith and Guy Juice joined the team, trying to...
Wait, hold on. The Wompty Dumpty Dom Center? Can we talk about that some more?
Wait, did he just say Wumpty Dumpty Dom Center?
Thank you, reaction speed.
He did it. He said Wumpty Dumpty Dom Center, like it's the most natural thing in the world.
Okay, the Wompty Dumpty Dom Center? Paul Ackerman, Keith and Guy Juiced? What are you talking about?
The Wumpty Dumpty Dom Center for Contemporary Arts. The exhibition itself drew on Lagerman's notion of memory, and so there were some parallels. That's why the head curator, Paul Ackerman, chose to...
You're making this up. Kim, is he making this up?
In fact, I'm not. The Wumpty Dumpty Dom Center is a place you can visit if you're ever in Vredefort and are ever in the market for an exhibition space / contemporary art research center.
I got a thought from that.
But perhaps I should return to the tape computers. As I was saying, the device itself was very elegant, fragile even. One could write directly on the tape using a special chemical solution. The machine would then analyze the handwriting, perform operations, and project output onto a white screen. It was a beautiful, delicate thing.
Cool.
Very, very cool. Though I understand the socio-economic causes of the revolution, it pains me to imagine the revolutionaries setting fire to this precious device. But so they did. The Feld playback experiment vanished into the fires of '07.
The Feld playback experiment?
Yes, the official name of the prototype. Some sources report it as the Feld playback experience, but those are incorrect.
Why did the revolutionaries destroy it?
Who knows? Maybe it was an accident, or maybe they didn't want the technology to end up in the wrong hands. Either way, they're all gone now. All 3 versions of the prototype. Nothing but debris and ashes remain inside that building.
He takes a step back. The boardwalk creaks mournfully in the wind.
2 seagulls circle in the sky. You look up and think, really? Or was there a 4th prototype that remains hidden in the mausoleums below Cold City?
And could we possibly find it? I wanted to ask something else.
But of course. What else?
I'm looking for a suspect. Have you seen anyone suspicious around?
No, I'm afraid I can't help you with this one, officer. It's just a regular day off for me and Mikhail here.
He pats his son's head.
So you haven't seen anyone around?
No, I'm sorry. As I said, this is just a day off. We just arrived anyway.
There's something friendly and familiar in how he says that. A day off.
You look like someone who has money. Do you have any money?
I do have some money, yes, but that's not what's really important here.
He brushes it off like it's not a thing at all.
He's not gonna give you money. What are you doing? Clearly you were just profiling.
Yes, I don't want your money. I just wanted to see whether my profiling skills were working.
Of course, Detective. I wouldn't have assumed anything else. Matter of fact...
He looks up again, a playful hint shining in his eyes.
I don't know if you're familiar with this, but the Vespertine Department of Justice has published a rather interesting paper on the criminal profiling in former socialist states. Have you read it? If not, then you definitely should. If not for tips and tricks, then just for theoretical curiosity. Anyway, that's just a little something that sprang to mind.
Yes, I will read that paper. Reading papers is what we do. About, profiling theory. Thank you for the interesting information.
No, thanks to you for having me and little Mikhail here to pick your brain. A very interesting conversation indeed.
Yes. And, what? Wompty Dumpty Dom Center. -1 for suggestion for the research bonus, but suggestion is pretty low to begin with. Let's take a look at that. Suggestion is a 2. Rarely speaks up. It's Wednesday evening and something heinously exciting is underway. People have gathered beneath the billowing roof of an oddly shaped trophy building, sipping wine and exchanging opinions. 29-year-old Wonder Twins Guy and Keith Joost are the stars of the show, with their bomber jackets and their white sneakers, head curators of this art exhibition. If it's the Wompty Dom... It's the Wompty-Dom-Didomiest event of the year, and all the cool kids have RSVP'd. Where are you? If you are not there. I guess we have to. We can probably lose Precarious World, because critical success threshold lowering is good, but failure also does the same thing, so we'll forget that one. And we'll internalize Wompty-Dompty-Dom Center. Guess I have to. Yeah, 2 signatures for Everart. Oh, hold on. I have been by this building before. But have we been out in this area? Like, I'm pressing tab, like there's no highlights coming up, so it doesn't really seem like there's... this is by the church. I mean, we do want to go into the church, because maybe our friends are in there now. But I don't think we've gone around all the way around here. Some real. It's paying off already. These rusty gears used to turn the whole machine. The building before you housed the engine must have been a big one. The chain trails off into the ocean to who knows where. This barrel's been recently discarded. It still smells of fuel oil.
An old door, worn by elements, guards the depot. The wind has blown a sand dune in front of it. The door hasn't been opened in a long while. You see a handle.
A red check, huh? What is this thing, anyway?
It's military. A service depot of some sort.
Use the service what?
The washerwoman mentioned a depot at the coast. She said it was for moving ammo and cargo across the bay. This might be it.
Could the structure have been used to take the shot?
From here to the whirling? I can't see how. The church is in the way.
Very low. Alright, let's just... theoretically, if we put interfacing clothes on, what would the chances be? I'm sure it's still going to be too low, but let's just see what the best odds we can get would be. Oh wait, no, our gloves are still... yeah. Actually, that is still the thing that we... I don't think we have anything else that could help with that. Yeah, interfacing is +2. Yeah, so that is not something that we're going to get any help in. Interesting it's a red check, because usually when it comes to doors and such, they end up being white checks. I'm a bit curious as to why this is a red one.
An old door, worn by elements, guards the depot.
Well, since it's red, I guess we'll think about it. Maybe we can get more interfacing stuff as time goes on. Cigarette butts cleaned away under a rock, brand Teomatiri. You take a mental note. Teomatiri seems important somehow. Someone made a campfire here a long time ago. A rusted, broken control box for the radio relay tower. This ladder is too rusty to climb. The sea air is eating away at it. Tiny inlets here, off in the far distance, where the posts trail toward... a scented scarf, +1 shivers, -2 physical instrument. Let's have a look at that. +1 shivers. Springtime cold. -2 physical instrument. Allergies. This light springtime scarf smells like men's cologne mixed with cheap laundry detergent. Someone must have left it behind. Probably from a date. Wear it if you want to delude yourself that spring has arrived. Well, I mean, we wouldn't want to reduce our physical instrument. We use that sometimes. Like to bust open doors and such. Not this one particular door that we just saw. Physical instrument doesn't help with that one. Also, shivers is pretty high as it is. Not seeing interactables. Oh, hold on. The boardwalk rises to your south. It casts its long shadow over you. Seem like we could go any further in that direction. Just want to check where the borders are on this piece of land. New shirt. White polo shirt. +1 rhetoric. What's polo anyway? -1 empathy. No, really. What the hell is polo? This shirt looks worn and smells a bit. You can't help but wonder, who would leave it stuffed in a tear container? What kind of man would even wear a polo shirt? This might be one of life's mysteries that will never be solved. Well, if we need to buff rhetoric, we actually now have something that'll put a point into it. Right now, rhetoric's at 0. Empathy's at 5. I don't really want to reduce that. But if we ever need to, I mean, it sounds like probably the only chances we have at actually passing a rhetoric check is if we get a bunch of clothes that power that up. So it's a good thing to hold on to in case we actually might have a chance at passing one. Okay, I don't... Surprisingly little to interact with out here. But at least we found that shirt. And also a door that's very difficult to open, and we only for some reason get one shot at opening it. Alright. We've got to the church, and I assume our friends have moved in. Let's see what they're doing with the place. Fun things, I hope. Yeah, here we go. Got some colored lighting in here and everything. A prayer book has been left open. Now this is a real place of worship.
Yeah, it's all set up, man. Can you already imagine 1,000 people in here? 10,000!
He waves his hands in an unbelievably lame, non-hardcore manner.
Ecstatic vibrations, totally transcendent. And I've finished setting up the new compressor too.
He looks at the imposing black box in the corner that's churning out the sound.
Now the only thing left to do is the name of the club. Will you do the honors, detective?
Oh, okay. We can ask people about the name. What do you propose as the name, Andre?
The name. Everything I managed to come up with sounds just wrong.
Andre's overthinking it,
says the girl with the microphone.
Yes, you should do it, detective.
The speed freak with...
Good for the signs.
Oh, we do want to improve our signs with Noid. That is true. That is one of our quests, I believe. Or maybe not a quest. Maybe it's a check. The speed freak with yellow beads around his neck is looking at you.
Noid's right. You've helped us so much. It's the right thing to do.
Estelle, what would you suggest as the name?
How about something simple? Like the club?
Too modern and too ironic. We don't want ironic. We want real. Real and true and beautiful. Like a morning after the rave.
Egghead, you must have a lot of ideas.
Yakokata! Yakokata! The place to be!
Yeko Qatar, the zone of ecological catastrophe. That's too morbid, eh? Got anything else?
Hardcore! Hardcore to the mega! No, it has to be bigger than hardcore. Yes, it has to be even bigger than hardcore to the mega. It has to be bigger than the scene.
Noid, give me your 2 cents on the issue.
The amnesia.
Like the... I can't remember the name of the club, Amnesia.
Amnesia! It's not amnesia, guys.
Suna, do you have an opinion on this?
I don't.
Good. We have too many opinions anyway.
Kim, how would you name the club?
I wouldn't. I wouldn't build a club, and I wouldn't name it either.
An underground place with no name? Sounds like something the Crabman would say.
Oh, can we get the Crabman's opinion? I'd like to know what kind of name he would come up with.
We're not going with anything the Crabman would say.
Why not? The Crabman has ideas, Estelle. Ideas from another level of consciousness.
Yeah, I think we should listen to the Crabman.
I don't care. I don't like the Crabman, and I don't like his ideas. His ideas are spooky. Next, please.
Oh, come on, Estelle. Give the Crabman a chance. I think I've come up with a name.
You have? Well, what's the name?
Well, I guess this is where we have our... Well, there's 2 title drops. There's the name, the final name, and there is the original name. And then Revachol West is just boring. No one's gonna pick Revachol West. Like, no one's gonna do that. But we do have... Because usually, you like when given a choice like this, you would go with the name of the game, but having the knowledge that the second choice was the original name of the game makes me wonder, is that the one we actually should be going with? And I think that is what we will do.
What does that mean?
He yells over the thumping music.
Of course, he had to smuggle in Furies somehow.
The lieutenant mumbles to himself.
It's too long. No one's gonna remember it on a Friday night.
No truce! Egg's right. They could call it no truce if it's too long. At least it stands out from the others. It evokes something. It's victorious. And yet mysterious.
He looks around. The church's light beams wash over the dance floor, bathing it in violet blue.
It's settled then. Everyone welcome to No Truce with the Furies.
I feel like someone should have said, we can't call it that. People will think it's called No Truce with the Furries. So we have to change the name. As apparently happened in real life. Anyway, we're going to continue.
Andre breaks into frenzied dance-like motion to celebrate the name. Someone turns up the beat.
What are you doing, Andre?
I'm dancing.
He performs yet another strange pattern of moves, but it doesn't look very cool or modern. Honestly, it looks kind of lame. We should talk about it. We should talk about your so-called dancing.
Yes, my man.
He jumps up and down with glee, his moves punctuated by the stroboscopic flash of the club lights.
Talk? What is there to talk about if you can express yourself with moves? Audio waves thump against your ribcage. The speaker setup makes everything sound much better. But there's a noticeable lack of something.
Oh boy. Oh man. I guess we have to.
You close your eyes and dream of the shapes your body should form to bring this strange music into life. For now, such ferocity of emotion is beyond you.
But just imagine the moves you could pull to this futuristic beat.
Puts a grin on your face just to think about it. Even a failed attempt gets the juices flowing and and repair some of the damage done by battles lost. If you up the dose and truly dance, who knows what will happen? Salvation.
Well, at least we got back the morale point that we lost. So, that's a rough check, but I guess, like, if we want to dance, we're going to have to pass it at some point. I've been meaning to ask you, what's with the hair?
It's to express my individuality.
Is that a bald spot? It's hard to tell for sure with the fused together spikes, but it looks like he's balding.
Is it because you're balding?
Or because I'm balding, yes. I want to fuse the remains of my hair together before it leaves me. I want to show my hair. I don't give a fuck how old you think I am. I'm 20.
How old are you, Andre?
Not 20.
Is it important for you to be an individual?
Of course it is. Otherwise, I'd just be another poor guy with no education and no money. General issue, man. Now I'm all that, and I have radical spikes.
Fair enough.
Maybe it was a bad idea. Anyway.
That's it for now.
Goodbye, officer.
Man, we have a lot to work. We have a lot of work to do if we want to dance, it sounds like.
She's whistling a melody, her trusty contact mic attached to a wooden pulpit. At the sound of your footsteps, she stops what she was doing and turns to you.
Hey there. I've been recording some new audio from all these beams and rafters. The sounds travelling through the wood are pretty cool. Creaks and stuff. Like you're underwater, you know? But like, underwater inside a tree. And yes, I'm being more like Contact Mike, alright? Don't even bring it up.
But Contact Mike is...
No. I actually wanted to thank you for getting me and my friends in here. And we even found some new associates, such as they are.
How's everyone doing?
Good, I think. Noid is getting a read on the place. I think he finds the carpentry very impressive. Andre's been setting up the compressor and dancing. Egghead's been keeping the party up. He's got the stage under control. Sauna, the programmer, she's doing whatever she does behind that radio computer of hers. She doesn't talk to us much, and the Crabman hasn't shown himself, thank God.
Now, can you tell me about your associates?
Sure. You helped us out. I can repay the favour. What do you want to know?
Tell me about Sona.
Oh, she's a bit odd, I have to say. Doesn't talk much. I'm not really sure how to vibe with her, you know? Seems like she's not in a very good mood most of the time. But earlier today she told me about Welkins, and she seemed oddly happy, like she had some idea with those little creatures. Some artistic idea. I didn't really listen, I was busy with my mic.
The only things that make her happy, programming and Welkins. What about Tiago?
Oh, the Crabman. Still gives me the creeps the way he moves. But he doesn't actually come down that much, just climbs around the rafters. I just tried to stay away from the Crabman. But he talks to Noid. They seem to have some thing going on.
He talks to Noid? What for?
Beats me. Noid said they get along somehow. They're both crazy enough, I guess.
What does he do up there?
Who knows? He doesn't really answer our questions, see? Not that it's easy to ask them. What are we supposed to do, yell up at the tower?
Thanks. About the others.
Who do you want to know about?
Tell me about Andre.
Andre? He's a cool guy. Doesn't really come off as one, but he is. To me, at least.
She rubs her sides, but not from cold. Her shoulders are relaxed. She must have taken a hit, or she's on an upswing.
He takes care of shit. Sorry. I mean, he's got a vision. For what life should be, you know? He tries to push things until everything falls into place. He's an organizer.
Was he organized?
Nothing. But then again, there's nothing to organize around here either. He really wants this church thing to work. Must have taken it as a sign when he found it abandoned like that. Said it was an augury. I don't know where he got that from. Andre's not super intelligent. I've never seen him so psyched about anything though. And he's often psyched. Looks sort of desperate, like it's his last chance or something. Or maybe he was just high. I mean, not that he does drugs, just high, you know.
On life?
Yes. Anyway.
Is Andre your boyfriend?
Yes.
Tell me about the others.
Who do you want to know about?
Tell me about Noid.
He's a four-burger, I guess, like the rest of us. Okay, maybe not Egg, I don't know about him, but Noid and the rest are from Forburg, making the pilgrimage up north to visit the Elysium. He's real hardcore about the lifestyle.
What does he do?
What do you mean, do? Like, for a living?
Yes.
He's a carpenter, trained and all. He's very good, he just doesn't have the mindset to work like that, in a shop somewhere.
What kind of mindset is that?
He abides by the hardcore, sir. You would have to ask him yourself.
And you?
Sir, I abide by the law.
A strange feeling. Every now and then, something feels off about the way she speaks. She doesn't change tone, but you feel as though there's more about her than she lets on.
What's this pilgrimage you're talking about?
It's just something poor Forburg kids do every spring. To pass the time, we walk the entire length of Boogie Street, up to Jamrock, or as much as possible.
Why wouldn't it be?
I don't know, man. Have you been down Boogie Street? It's a little bewildering.
I'm sorry. Have I not told you I'm a raging alcoholic who's recently drank himself into an oblivion so deep he can't even remember what sounds like the biggest street in the city?
Kind of. I'm gonna say yes.
Well, I am.
Okay. Then you should go and take a look, I guess. Boogie Street is cool. It's got a lot of immigrants and all kinds of different people.
It's unlikely I'll make it there. Chest pains. Need to continue drinking. But thank you.
They do say death is an avenue like any other. I still think you'll make it to Boogie Street, though.
Tell me about the others.
Who do you want to know about?
What's the deal with Egghead?
What do you mean?
What does he think he's doing when he yells all that stuff?
Oh, that. He's the party boy.
What's a party boy?
And Nordic music doesn't really do vocals in the traditional sense. Vocals are thought of as rock. That's to say they're a bit backward. No offense if you like rock music, though. Rock music's cool by me.
You don't have to tell me rock music is dead. I abandoned rock music a long time ago. Can't disco to rock.
Okay.
She nods.
Anyway, even if you don't have vocals, you still need someone to say something every now and then, right? To urge things on. That's where the party boy comes in. He basically just stands on the stage and dances and yells how awesome everything is. It's very catchy.
I understand. People are usually afraid to do things if others aren't already doing them. Dancing makes you dance, like sneezing makes you sneeze, or yawning makes you... Anyway.
He looks around, a little embarrassed of the enthusiasm of his interjection. Where's he from? How long has he been with you guys?
Actually, we don't know where he's from. Or who he is, really.
Ooh, mysterious.
One time we were out partying somewhere in backwater Forburg. Or maybe even Coal City. I can't remember. Maybe it was Coal City. Egg was yelling along to some jam someone was spinning. All night long. Just kept yelling until he didn't have a shred of voice left. When the sun came up over the mines. There were mines? Yeah. It was in Coal City. Egg came with us. He made this wheezing puppy dog sound all the way back. Couldn't even speak. It was definitely Coal City, because it took us 2 days to walk back to the fort. He just wheezed the whole way. We never really asked why he came with us, or who he was. I think his name is Jermaine. People are sweet.
You can see it must have been a great night. The memory causes her to go silent for a moment or two. You wish you'd been there.
Tell me about the others.
Who do you want to know about?
Yourself.
Me? Again?
Yes.
I told you, I'm a silver bird.
There's that phrase again. Really reminds you of something.
What does that mean?
It means I don't answer questions about myself.
There's more to you than you let on. What am I not seeing?
All right.
She picks up the tape recorder and looks you in the eye.
There is.
But I'm a police officer. You have to answer me.
Is there a law that would stop me from lying, though?
That would depend on the circumstances.
Well, fair enough.
Thank you. Sure.
Catch the silver bird. Well, reaction speed is 8%. That doesn't seem like something that we'd be able to, well, reaction speed is 3 and 8%, so... Well, okay, why don't we give it a try?
The silver bird has already flown away. I will catch it later.
Okay, that's it for now.
Wumpty Dumpty Dum Center. You're at home, stupid cop. Not with the art crowd. You hate them. Everyone hates them. Even they hate themselves. It's nauseating. An industry built on sprezzatura and sparkling wine. And, let's be honest, tax evasion schemes. The Wumpty Dumpty Dum Center is the heart of this unholy symbiosis of aesthetics and tax optimization. And now that you've internalized it, you can have a piece too.
If you pass Encyclopedia passives, you get 10 XP and 2 Real, which, if you have high Encyclopedia, that is really good. -2 suggestion because you're a pretentious wanker. Let's just see something. These glasses give us +2 Encyclopedia. So we don't have that hat anymore. So now we have an Encyclopedia of 2. I doubt that's enough to actually pass passives, but it's there. We have 2 points there.
You got us in, cop. I can't believe you got us in.
He looks around the hall, examining the carpentry.
With wonder in his sharp eyes.
Between you and me, I don't know if you've noticed this about me. I'm a little suspicious of authority. But you really came through for the hardcore underground.
Yes, you really came through for the hardcore underground. How come?
Andre is busy cutting some slightly less lame, but still quite ungainly shapes on the church floor, sweating profusely. Estelle using her contact mic to listen to a tree underwater. The one with the large head is blasting the dance track on repeat, while the stained glass window behind him is rattling from the bass.
I did it for mankind. For all of mankind.
Okay.
The lieutenant keeps it laconic. Noid, what did you think about the church?
It's a miracle of carpentry. Dead bodies carved into total shapes. Now it can be something more.
He rubs his hands together. Do you say that as a carpenter yourself?
I don't say much anything as a carpenter anymore. They tried to make me into a reckoner and a leveller. Made me a bit manic, you know. I regret the time I dedicated to that profession and that worker collective. I say things more as a member of the hardcore side dance community these days.
You're not going to ask me how I knew?
Why? You're a cop. I carry carpentry tools.
How old do you think this church is? Over 300 years?
That's right. The first settlers built it, plus 6 more like it, on the coast here. Was one of the first things they did. Must have been really scared of something, but I understand. Alone on an uninhabited archipelago, forced to face themselves and nature. Pre-industrial quantities of solitude. The sea, perhaps something more fundamental.
He means something paranatural. He must...
I would want to build a safe place for myself and my own as well.
His voice echoes in the wooden cavern of the church. What style is this church built in?
A cop who's into building critique. Okay then, this is folk DeLoreanism. Lawmonger, huh? It's a subset of early DeLorean architecture.
And what is DeLorean architecture like?
total. Everything between an ancient concrete cathedral and a glass cube is DeLoreanism. This is just an homespun version of it. Folksy stuff. Early mass production. They made thousands like this. Does that help you out?
What does a DeLorean building look like?
Like that woman there. Vertical, thin, white. A false image of grandeur. The source of the system is up there. You're at the bottom. They really dug that power vertical. Like to show off large and intricate structures. Arches, spires. Put you down with them. They were really into painting everything white too. Virginal shit, you know. Marriage shit. Virtue and tyranny.
Marriage is shit, yeah.
Right.
He takes a bolt from the toolbox and spits on it before shining it. This church isn't painted white as far as I can tell.
Stands to reason it used to be white on the outside before the sea wind took all the paint off.
Slowly, peeled by the wind, your skin crawls from the sensation as you look around.
What did you mean by dead bodies?
Dead bodies are perennial plants. Sigma functions have left this place. It's a good thing we came along. The spiritual collapse has been total.
Spiritual collapse?
I saw some piglets suckling their dead mother. Have you heard this one, Copman? After a short while, they shuddered and went away. They had sensed that she could no longer see them and that she wasn't like them anymore. What they loved in their mother weren't her body, but whatever it was that made her body live. End of quote. This is an high-quality carcass. The power of anodic beats and hard bass is needed to reanimate it.
Where's that quote from? Quote from?
A Sarais man who lived a long time ago. An ancient hardcore brother.
You're not a big fan of the Innocentic system?
A 3,000-year-old tyrannical regime of history, built and maintained by hundreds of generations of self-appointed intellectuals. It's false core.
But you guys said that the Ecclesiastes were all about love and hardcore before, remember?
I only said unity. One word. Figures of authority always misquote you.
He points to his friends.
Andre doesn't care about the Ecclesiastes. He just wants the operation to run smoothly. And Egg is a demi-beast. You shouldn't listen to what people say. You should listen to what they are.
And you propose dance music will supplant this system?
Anodic dance music. Regular dance music wasn't hard enough. And yes, I do.
You know what this kind of stuff goes well with.
Don't you have to be on drugs for that, though?
Only a little.
Cool.
It's a necessity. All large human gatherings are narcotic. It's just the way of the spinal cord.
There is a difference between narcotics and group elation. One kills you, the other does not.
The supercharged humanism that the innocentic system has been feeding us on giant city squares, that's not a drug. The sugar and wheat it feeds us is healthy.
Forget it. It would become an imbecilic discussion. You two continue. It's more hardcore that way.
How do you like the glasswork?
I don't. Fucker giving me the evil eye.
You wanted to get inside the church, and now you don't like the stained glass window.
I didn't know it was in here. We have to get rid of it. Dismantle it. Can't dance with a giant mass murderer looking at ya. Not a good look for the club.
Mellow, man, mellow. No one's a mass murderer. This is a house of love. Mass murder on the floor.
Oh, Egghead's big into mass murder. Look, there's a lot of choices here. She's the innocence of humanism. Humanism seems to be a pretty big deal around here. But she's pretty. Yeah, but like, who isn't accused of being a mass murderer these days? The resettlement programs are totally okay. I'm a big fan of resettlement programs for some reason. I do feel there's something terrifying about her. Isn't she supposed to be an embodiment of the world spirit? Would you say she was, human? Or we're done talking about her? I do feel there is something terrifying about her.
There is. She is a party repellent and must be taken down before we can begin partying in here.
No, that's not it. It's something more. Something closer to your skin.
Take her down, crash it, destroy that window.
Will do.
The speed freak nods and pets the toolbox as if it were a cat.
No, Noid! Stop twisting my melon, man! People are gonna love it. It'll be our thing. Plus it keeps the cold out.
Would you say she was, human?
I like this question, Cop Man. She did not live the life of a human. She lived like someone who's playing a game. The life of an operator. That's not the life that humans live. She was adored. Humans aren't. I don't know about you, but they hate me. And they do not think I'm innocent or some shit like that.
I don't know what you're talking about. I have thousands of fans. I am surrounded by love and support all the time.
Fame is a false existence. It doesn't happen inside the head.
He nods mysteriously, then lets go with the suspenders and they hit his chest with a slap. Isn't she supposed to be an embodiment of the world spirit?
The world spirit does not have a body. It has organs. Hardcore is an organ of the world spirit.
He raises his left hand.
This Arno van Eyck track is an organ. The carpentry and glass cutting that built this house are also organs. She's a thief, if you ask me. An organ thief. All innocences are.
But she's pretty.
She invented the beauty you're feeling. She and her glass cutters and iconographers. You set the standard, all right. Then you meet it. It's effective like that, but it is also very soft of core. That so-called beauty of hers.
It's anything but softcore. It's terrifying.
You may be onto something, Copper Man. She's got those mass murdering hips.
Yeah, but who isn't accused of being a mass murderer these days?
No one says Arno van Eyck is a mass murderer. The Anodic pioneer Rietveld is not a mass murderer. He is not accused of mass murder. Likewise, no one says Jermaine Egghead or Andre are mass murderers. You can live entirely outside that suspicion. Billions of people go about not being guilty of mass murder. Just not her.
But she's the innocence of humanism. Humanism seems to be a pretty big deal around here.
Humanism leads to eating sugar and pigs. Humanism was invented to mass-produce billions of humans. Billions of humans can mass-produce hundreds of billions of pigs. She liked games. Her legacy, the thing we live in, isn't real life. It's a strategy for some kind of victory against a long-dead opponent. But, I'm only annoyed. What do I know?
What do any of us know, really, Noid? I think we're done talking about her.
Okay.
How are you settling in?
Hard to say, Cop Man. Signs in here are distinctly wild. Gonna take a while before everything's properly synced. I did get to talk to the crab man, though.
You mean Tiago?
Anyway, he's been giving me kind of a psychic rundown of this place. Dude's seen some crazy shit, but he's actually a lot like us.
You mean all his mother's love stuff isn't too spooky for you?
Have you been listening to what Egg's been saying? Love is hardcore, man. And the mother's love is the hardest core of all. The man picks up on stuff. And he knows a lot about the church. I got a lot to learn from him. Good thing you didn't squash him.
What did Tiago tell you about the church?
The crabman's been lurking here for a while. He's experienced things. Things that give off bad signs. As far as we can tell, the Ubies built this place about 320 years ago as a sarcophagus.
Do you mean there are dead bodies here?
Not like a literal sarcophagus. I'm just being metaphorical.
What's it for?
Encasement, confinement, of something they were afraid of. Something new and unheard of on the Isla. I think that's what the Crabman is experiencing when he climbs around upstairs. Like, this is some old world shit the Ubies had heard about. I thought the best way to deal with it was to build a church surrounding it to contain it.
Contain what exactly?
I don't know. And it's not something they properly understood either, what it does. But it's what this Sona person is looking for and trying to measure. It'll be fruitless though. She won't be able to measure it. People like that always want to measure everything. All those things they really can't.
The wood creaks as a gale blows by. Outside, dust particles fall through the darkness, settling down on the age-bleached floorboards. The structure does not feel particularly durable.
The building seems less than structurally sound.
No, it's pretty fucking unsound if you ask me. They should have built a club for anodic music around it instead. Anodic music will definitely contain whatever we're dealing with.
His words echo in the chamber.
And if it can't, well...
He shrugs non-committally. What makes you think Suna's gonna fail?
Seems to be the trend around here, doesn't it? You can't measure shit like this. It's not like... substance.
I found a doomed commercial area in Martinez proper. Maybe it's the same thing the Ubies were trying to contain.
Like a concentric ring spreading out. The struggling villages. And that is what caused the communards to fail in defending the beachhead. Yeah, a lot of failure has gone down around here.
You think there's any merit to that theory?
I don't know. Maybe. Maybe not. It's not even a thing we can answer, Cop Man. Even I have limits. I'm a limited psi person.
Well, if it's without substance, I guess there's nothing to worry about.
Maybe you can figure things out, Cop Man. I think we got on a good level here. The signs are syncing up well.
Oh, we got synced signs. The signs are being synced. Why are you so suspicious about everything, Noid?
Suspicious people are esoteric people. We don't go around spilling everything to Johnny Law. They don't call me Noid for nothing.
Why do they call you that?
It took us setting out for this whole enterprise to get our signs synced.
Why do they call you that?
It's short for paranoid.
Ah. What are you suspicious of?
It'd be easier to list stuff I'm not suspicious of. I'm not suspicious of sound and colour. Mechanics and chemistry also have a trueness about them. Most anything else deceives. Wants to steal your life away.
This is a good, dangerous line of questioning. You should prod him on.
Yes. What are the most suspicious things?
I don't have a top 10 list of things I'm most suspicious of, but if I had one, the left-right complex would be number 1. Number 2 would be their sole accomplishment, the pig-wheat paradigm.
Tell me more about this left-right business.
I prefer not to. Both ask the wrong questions. Any spark of light from either one is accidental. Their combined movement's only concern is producing enough pig and wheat for everyone. The end goal of humanity. The original mistake was assuming that words have more being than bodies. That's what led us astray. Far from our true lives, but we may yet find a way back.
Whatever this true life is, you feel it's the real centerpiece of this mythology.
And what's suspicious about the production of pork and wheat?
It's only our shit. We should make better use of not being animals or cereal grain ourselves.
And what's bad about cereal grain? Having enough food could be a precursor for greater things.
Yes, having food is means to an end. But the left never talks about the end, only the means. Caps are likewise suckers, constantly sleepless in worry.
Does this mean you're mentally ill?
Mental illness is a term the powers use to homogenise people. I think I don't reach mental illness. I am merely politically ill, a suspicious element.
Well, that was certainly stimulating. I want to ask you something else now.
His eyes flicker.
You mentioned true life. What would that be like?
Life is true if it's free from fear, an eternal division among oneself. In others, mankind has seeds of greatness in it. A germinal will come, a return to trueness, it will be hardcore.
How would you go about returning to this true life?
Beats and bright lights to shatter falsehoods. Nerve impulses for the collective body. We are very much alike in basic structure. An hard enough beat would awaken everyone to a truer calling. In unity.
Just like that. The speed freak is right in your face, his eyes burning. His comrades look on worriedly. The young man is dead serious about this.
You're advocating a noise-based society?
Many non-Occidental cultures share a beat at their art. Thus, they are closer to true, hardcore life. There's just never been enough of them, and they had to rely on some extremely basic percussion.
You keep mentioning hardcore. What does it mean to you?
Utmost dedication. Thoughts from the spinal cord is a potent superlative as well. Egghead usually has a better concept of the hardcore. He just really likes saying hardcore.
Hardcore!
His friend shouts from behind his mix table, with a smile surpassing your own in wideness, a total moon face, and eyes full of naive wonderment. That was vague. Dedication, something else, superlative?
Maybe you're being too specific about it. Try consulting with your spinal cord.
Now that talks to me quite a bit, but usually only when we're cold. Let's change the subject.
Oh yeah, sure thing.
Oof. Conceptualization, huh? What's with the clothes?
They're hardcore.
That's it?
They're just clothes.
I thought there'd be more to it.
It's just a style, you know. Normal hard style. Anyone can wear it.
All right. Take care, Noid. Let's have a look at something. No, nothing that we're already wearing all of our conceptualization stuff, so we couldn't get a bigger boost from that. Noid had a lot to say.
Yes. What is it?
He had a lot to say, and it wasn't really about the church or the club. Just a lot to say about, life, politics, and philosophy in general. Let's talk about Tsuna, about what she's doing here. How's the project going? I see that your neighbors have moved in, but all I hear is Anatic dance music.
What?
She leans...
What did you say?
You can barely hear her over the thumping bass of Anatic dance music. I said, how's the project going?
I can't hear you. The music is too loud.
The project. How is it going?
Oh, the project. It's not going well.
Why?
There's that guy. I need him to plug a 3.5 cable into the auxiliary input so that I can route the audio signal through the mixer into the speakers.
Why don't you just ask him?
He doesn't listen to me. He only ever seems to care about hardcore and Yekokata. A place to be, apparently.
I'll speak to him, see what I can do.
Thanks. Maybe you can get through his magic rhymes.
She does jazz hands to mock him.
Let me know how it goes.
Oh, let's see, let's see. Talk to Egghead about the aux cable. Alright. Let's see if we can get through to him.
Back to the heavyweight jam.
Says the young man from behind his mixing deck. Lung-shaped trees grow on his silver belt buckle.
Hardcore! Hardcore! Hardcore to the mega! Internally coherent! All core! All right! Yeah!
He furrows his brow as his very large head traces the sublime invisible movement of the music in the very real air of the church.
Hardcore! Ah! The question is, what is the question?
Well, just answer the question.
But there was no question.
There wasn't, that's true.
We're close. True. Hard. Full. Car. Hardcore. Yeah! Luckyerski. Materialski. We're close. True.
I guess this is just try all the options.
Hardcore to the mega. Here comes the night. We're close. True. Hardcore. Hardcore to the internally coherent. Good morning, yeah. 1, 2, 3. Yakokata, the place to be. Yakokata is a hardcore place. We're close. True. Hardcore. Internally coherent. Good morning, yeah. It's the message. We're close. True. Hardcore to the internally all car. Gotta get the people. Yeah. We're close. True. Hardcore to the internally all car. Gotta get the people. I'm the party boy. It's my job. 2 on a track. We're true. Hardcore internally all car. Gotta get the people going. I'm the party boy. Hardcore party 25/7 beyond the winter's orbit style. We're close. True. Hard. Full. Car. Hardcore. Hardcore to the internally all car.
He furrows his...
Hardcore. Is it though? One mind. We're close. True. Hard. All.
He furrows.
Hard. Is it though? One mind. We're close. True. Hardcore to all.
He furrows.
Is it though?
Nope.
But is it? I mean, no, but seriously.
Okay, there it is.
Worried it isn't.
He frowns and starts bobbing his head back and forth once more.
The skin on your back is crawling. For a second, you can't even hear the music anymore. There is a hawthorn tree on Rue de Saint-Gislain, right next to the canal.
Tell me about the hawthorn tree, Shivers.
Don't be alarmed. Everything is okay. He isn't actually worried. Everything is still super hardcore. What he probably means is, it could be even more so.
Egg, can you please route Suna's signal through your speakers?
To the mega! Yeah! I can route it through auxiliary. What kind of a cable does she use? 3.5 or 4.5?
3.5, no doubt about it. It's on the ground.
Oh, she uses 3.5. Yeah. The auxiliary lining is 4.5 millimeter. These two don't mix.
Oh no, we're going to be in this church forever.
Oh no, we need an adapter. Where's the Radio Shack in Revachol?
Don't worry, I have an adapter for it right here.
Oh no, he already brought the adapter. Egghead came prepared. He searches for the cable on the ground and picks it up, looking at the jack.
Hang on, this is a 4.5. We're all good, people!
With a grin, he sticks the plug into the auxiliary line in. You hear a satisfying click.
Whoa, thank God. Adapters noticeably degrade the sound quality.
Great! Someone got through to him. Okay, let's get it all set up. Can we turn the music off, please?
Egg, the music.
Everybody! Everybody! Don't panic! I'm going to turn off the on for just a sec. For a special scheduled event. The Arno will be back, but we're doing something else for one moment. Alright, go tell her that Egghead is ready to rave to her tunes, and then I'll turn off the music.
Alright, well, let's do that.
Alright, here comes the night.
I want to see what the results of this experiment are.
What is it?
I talked to Egghead. He plugged in the cable. You can now unmute your speakers.
Okay, but think you can ask him to turn the volume down a bit? Just in case.
Maximum!
Shouts Egghead, a giant smile still adorning his face larger than a red dwarf star.
Maximum is the only way!
I know it is, but could you please turn it down just this instance? Just this one time? Maximum is not the only way, okay?
Egg for Egghead it is.
Pump it to the brick! Pump it to the hard master! There's no other way! Glue style!
Glue style? Okay, there literally is no other way. The mixing desk is glued to maximum.
Ah, I see.
See? He pumps it to the hard master. It's hopeless.
Oh, I mean, if you want to live your life never turning down the volume, I guess you're going to make sure that no one can turn it down. I think what Egghead is trying to say is that the volume button is stuck on maximum.
Of course it is.
She shrugs, consigned to her fate.
Yeah! Permanent enlightenment! Ray of sound!
Never mind then. Let's get on with our project. I'm going to unmute the speakers on a count of 5. Everyone ready?
She looks around the church.
Egghead pumps his hand up in the air, waiting for the beat to drop.
Born ready.
Says Andre.
Ready.
Yells Noid.
I'm ready if you two are detectives.
Says Estelle.
The lieutenant nods stoically. Suddenly, your palms are sweaty. The church seems cold and large, somehow. There's tightness in your chest. Anxiety.
Hold on for a moment.
What?
No, let's do this.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mute disengaged.
She lifts her hand from the keyboard. Complete silence fills the room.
No wind outside. No waves. No floorboards creaking. Total, continuous silence. This is unnatural. The woman looks around. In the silence, you see dust move on the floorboards. The driver of the speaker vibrates in the air and then stops. Plasterwork begins to crumble down the walls. In the silence, a low hum starts creeping up your spine. It's a song inside you, not in the speakers, not in the room. A great bass sigh in the basement of your mind. Slowly, it builds until the air around you starts to vibrate. It's out there now, in the world, made manifest. It will devour everything. The floorboards, the glass, the streets and the people. Nothing will remain.
Guys, what's going on?
There's alarm in the man's voice as he steps back to scan the surroundings. A slight rattle like crystal clattering in the cupboard fills the air, joining the chorus.
It's getting louder,
says Noid, his eyes riveted on the strange circle of water basins.
In the basins, the water looks like it's boiling.
Hosiana! Mother of Mega!
You hear Egghead yell, then something else, but his voice is growing faint.
In his mind, a tidal wave approaching from afar, swallowing entire coastlines on its way. Salvation. He's peaking. The worst high he's ever been on.
I've never heard anything this hardcore in my life.
The beauty and the beat! The future of dance! Planetary!
No, Egg! It's the window!
The glass shards around Dolores Day's vacant heart appear to be vibrating from the sound. It almost looks like she's alive.
In the corner of your eye, the lieutenant steps aside, cautiously, his eyes searching for a possible evacuation route.
The window is going to come down. No, the roof!
She looks up. A screech fills the air. A scream of wood and nails. The pillars of the church twist and creak above and around you.
Cracks appear on the stained glass window. Cracks run up the wooden pillars in the dark.
Come down to us! Love!
Below it, all the bass grows, like the jaws of a giant compressor gnawing on metal and wood. It does not sound benevolent at all.
That's it. I'm muting it.
She reaches for the keyboard. Now, everybody, don't panic. It's beautiful.
Beautiful car! Beautiful life!
Shit! It doesn't stop. Asil, have you?
Yes, I've turned it off.
She yells, holding the contact mic in her hand.
Andre, pull the compressor. The place is gonna come down.
Fuck! I can't shut it up. The signal's passed. It's not in here. It's...
This is it. A great roar. The vault of the roof twists above you. Glass shatters somewhere near the door. It's coming down.
Egghead, whatever you do, don't stop it.
But then it stops. totally and utterly, as if there never was a sound. Only your ears still ring from the shock. Everybody is staring at Egghead, holding a dangling cable in his hand. A black 3-pin connector.
Egg.
I pulled the plug. It was getting too hardcore.
You did good, Egg. Most of the place seems to be intact. Fucking hell. Programmer lady, tell me you were recording that.
4 years. 22 people. Millions of reals. All that time? This is what we were up against. Just erased it. Suliswolf isn't gonna believe this.
Yeah, but did you record it though? It was dope. I think we can use it.
Yes, Andre. I recorded it. Damn, I need to send some letters now. Thank you all for doing this. Eggman, you too. And you, officer. I don't know what we've discovered, but I know what it sounds like now. That's the start.
Kim, did you hear that?
It was very hard not to. I think you're right. There is something going on here. And you need to be very careful with it.
I promise, officer. We will not play it again.
What was that? I've never heard anything like that.
It was mathematical information from the anomaly, presented as a waveform. That's what it was technically. Theoretically, I have no idea. I've never even heard of anything like this.
A voice seems muffled in the silent church. It's your ears adjusting after the exposure.
You're going to write Sulislaw?
Yes, our lead designer. And maybe some of the producers too. And some of the writers. If they're sober enough to open a transmission. They need to hear.
That it wasn't her fault. Or theirs.
They need to hear about this. Don't worry, I won't send the recording. Although I doubt they have the speakers to produce the frequency anyway.
What happens now? Are you going to...
Stay here. I'm going to stay here with these lunatics. Send letters, maybe meet Suliswolf. Also devise further measurements.
I want you to know that's totally chill with us.
I don't care, but thank you anyway. Now, I have a theory to come up with. Some kind of preliminary explanation to all this. Or the letter will sound like I've lost my mind.
Yes, and we have to get back to stabilizing Martinez. Instead of demolishing it with loud bass noise of unknown origins.
Some tiny hard thing lets go in your stomach. You're still alive. You have an explanation for all this. Somewhere deep in you. You just don't have the pieces yet. You don't know enough about the world. But that Joyce, if you knew all she knows, could put it together.
Hey, Encyclopedia got a passive role. Good job, Encyclopedia. Maybe Joyce could answer the question. Maybe we could talk about this experience to her. Very low. -10 because Pale Unknown. +1 heard of Doom commercial area. +1 investigated Doom commercial area. Logic is at 0. Well, I mean, clearly we need to talk to Joyce and ask her about all this. And I think with that, we're going to save this game. All right, well, it's our friends are all getting along in the church. I would have liked to have known what the Crabman's opinion on what just happened was. It felt like some sort of eldritch abomination might be approaching, but that is not what happened. We don't know what happened, but maybe it does seem to be saying that possibly Joyce may have some sort of idea about what it was we experienced here. What does this have to do with the case? Maybe nothing? I mean, we didn't really do a whole lot regarding the actual case this time round. Like, we investigated the fishing village. We talked to that one guy who was really interested in the history of that one building on the shore. We got a story from Idiot Doom Spiral telling us about the cocaine skull. We found that one door that's nearly impossible to open. and now we experienced some sort of unknown, possibly supernatural event here in the church, and we can't explain it. So, as we continue on with Disco Elysium, it seems like probably we're going to finish up talking with the people in the church, and then maybe we will just pass by Joyce and just ask her if she knows anything about this. Also, we still do need to talk to the people in the fishing village about getting signatures for Evrart. I don't know if they'll want to sign Evrart's thing, but we'll pass it by them and see what they want. So we still do have some business to do in the fishing village next time. Also, apparently Ruby is somewhere around here. Remember her? Remember how the main mystery plot was that we need to find Ruby and that she went up the coast somewhere? Yeah, that happened, but it's not like we've really been doing anything regarding that. Not like we've really been doing anything regarding that. So maybe, I don't know, maybe next time we will. But it's not looking good as we continue on with Disco Elysium.